Hello. Today we're here in the Gilded Flight Rotunda. In 1783, the French Montgolfier brothers ignited a fervor called balloonomania when they proposed launching the first humans skyward. This generated the excitement equivalent to the space race of the 1960s when we proposed landing a man on the moon. In June 1783, the brothers invited a group of dignitaries to observe a prototype balloon made of sackcloth and lined with paper, and the panels were held in place by 1,800 buttons reinforced by some fishnet. They inflated the balloon using a very smoky fire and launched to 5,000 feet, traveling 1 mile in about 10 minutes. News spread quickly and caught the attention of Jacques Charles, the same scientist and mathematician whose gas law we still study in introductory physics. Charles decided that he would like to beat the Montgolfiers to the first flight. The Parisians enthusiastically embraced this concept, and the race was on. The Montgolfiers enlisted Jean-Baptiste Réveillon to build them a silk balloon lined with a fire-resistant resin. In August 1783, 50,000 people flooded the park where the Eiffel Tower now stands to observe Charles's first demonstration of his hydrogen balloon. Despite stormy weather, his 13-foot balloon raised straight up, and within 2 minutes, it was out of sight. Among the crowd was Ben Franklin and a young John Quincy Adams. A companion asked Franklin, "What good is it?" To which Franklin astutely observed, "What good is a newborn baby?" When the balloon landed, villagers were so frightened by this apparition that appeared from the sky that they took pitchforks, scythes, and guns to destroy it. A month later, in September 1783, a crowd of 130,000, including Marie Antoinette and King Louis XVI, gathered to watch the Montgolfiers' first test flight of their balloon. Because of the risk to humans, the Montgolfiers decided to launch a sheep, a duck, and a rooster on the first test flight. They reached a height of 1,500 feet and traveled about 2 miles over 10 minutes and were unharmed. The Montgolfiers raced to build a balloon with the specific intent of carrying humans aloft. The result was the aerostat Réveillon, which you see here. It was about 75 feet tall, 50 feet in diameter, and would easily fill this rotunda. The museum display is as the balloon might appear 3,000 feet in the skies above Paris. There was still some concern about whether the air was breathable at altitude. King Louis thought about mitigating this risk by sending 2 condemned criminals aloft. Pilatre de Rosier petitioned the king that the honor of being the first humans to be aloft should not be given to criminals. He wanted the honor for himself. In October of 1783, Montgolfier, de Rosier, and others flew several tethered balloon flights to learn how to control the hot air balloon. On November 21st, 1783, de Rosier and d'Arlandes performed the first untethered human balloon flight. The crowd watched in silent awe as the balloon slowly rose to 3,000 feet and traveled 5.5 miles in about 10 minutes. These first aeronauts became instant heroes. Jacques Charles lost his race to become first, but 10 days later, he launched his hydrogen balloon and attained an incredible height nearly 2 miles above the surface of the Earth. About 6 months later, Elizabeth Thibault became the first female aeronaut. In another 6 months, January 1785, Jean-Pierre Blanchard and John Jeffries, an American physician, became the first to fly a balloon across the English Channel. Tragically, about 6 months later, de Rosier and a companion died in their attempt to duplicate Blanchard's flight. This was the first fatal aviation accident. The first balloon flight in America occurred in January 1893 with George Washington as an observer. In 1805, Sophie Blanchard, the wife of Jean-Pierre, became the first female to solo balloon. She also delighted in daring displays above the skies of Paris. She is credited as being the first professional balloon pilot. Between 1783 and 1800, balloonomania faded. Balloons were used as military observation platforms, but lack of directional control made their effectiveness limited. The excitement transitioned to fixed-wing aircraft. Some of the first of these fixed-winged aircraft are also on display in the flight rotunda. Enjoy your visit. Thank you for your attention.